Hello, welcome to this week's episode of How's the Market Pensacola. We're going to give you some real estate data here real quick. As you can tell, I'm not in studio again this weekend. Planned on actually shooting this in there, but had a good time. Angie and I, my wife and I, went over to New Orleans this weekend just for a quick getaway. Did that riverboat cruise thing and had a little injury, so we're heading to the doctor here in a minute. Her foot's pretty swollen. Uh, Missed a step. We both missed it actually, and I fell and she rolled. So yeah, that was fun. Anyways, I'm not here to talk about our fall this weekend. I'm here to talk about real estate data. Ready? Let's go.
I'm a man on a mission.
My mission is to help people break through all the noise out there, and
Don't need no permission.
I want to help you get to actual truth. Don't you just want the truth?
All right, I'm going to go down to the screen here, and I always shoot this. I share this slide first every week because there's some people that are new to the show. And this is just a baseline for us to know, hey, if we have between 6 and 7 months worth of inventory, it's a neutral market. If we have greater than 7 months worth of inventory, it's a buyer's market. Less than 6 months worth of inventory is a seller's market. Now, what it doesn't say, and what I try and explain every week as well, anything less than 3 months worth of inventory is a hyper seller's market. Anything greater than 9 months worth of inventory is a hyper buyer's market. Well, why does that matter? Well, we're going to flip over right now to Escambia County, and you can see all of them. All of them. Like I have said before on many other shows, I hate it when an agent answers the question, is it a buyer's market or a seller's market, with a straight answer. Oh, yeah, it's an absolute buyer's market. It's an absolute seller's market. Well, that's not the case. It's both. So let's start here in Escambia County. In Escambia County, if you notice, everything under 200,000 is considered a hyper seller's market. It's 2 months or under worth of inventory. So I know I've had some clients going, hey, I want to buy something between 120 and 130. And I'm like, okay, and that's cool. And if you look, I do not want to discourage this price point, because if you look over here, this is actually the number of actives. There's 102 active properties in Escambia County between 100 and 150,000 dollars. Between 150 and 200, there's 153 active. But if you can see, we've got more pending. The green is the pending here. We got more pending than we do active. So that's also telling us the appetite is there. It's not to say there's not properties there. There are properties, but it's also very, very competitive. And when stuff comes on in that price point, you got to move. You got to move on it pretty quick, especially if it's a nice property. And if you look all the way up to 400,000, it's considered a seller's market. So the 300 to 350 and 200 to 250. So basically 200 to 350, pretty much considered a hyper seller's market, but the pendulum has swung a little to where we're just going to call it a seller's market. So you can still, as a seller, be a little aggressive. And as a buyer, you need to be prepared. Have your pre-approval ready to make an offer if a property comes on that you like. And there's still some negotiation that can happen there, but you're not going to come in at a $250,000 property and offer them 175 and get it. 99.9% of the time. I never say never, because there's always situations that come up in this business. 350 to 400, almost a neutral market. It's definitely considered a seller's slightly, but if you remember, neutral is 6 months. So to me, I would say between 350 and 450 is a neutral. Even though the 350 to 400 calls it a seller's market, that's so close to where I would call both of those a neutral market. Buyers are going to negotiate a little bit more. Sellers have got to differentiate a little bit more. Okay. 4 to 450, that one was 6.2. 450 to 500, that strange pocket we've been looking at for 2 months now, 2.5 months now. Hyper buyer's market. So 450 to 500 is 9.5 months worth of inventory. Hyper buyer's market. And then we come back down basically to a neutral market. Well, no, this would be a buyer's market here. The 5 to 6, because you got 8 and 7 months worth of inventory, which is greater than 6. So you'd pretty much call that a buyer's market, with that 550 to 600 almost being a hyper buyer's. Everything else is obviously a hyper buyer's market. 600's got 10 months worth of inventory. At 650 to 700 in Escambia County. That's an interesting number, because wait till you see what a Santa Rosa County is. 18 months. So you got a year and a half's worth of inventory, and 700 plus is about 18 months. Um, so you got a year and a half's worth of inventory. Let's switch over now to Santa Rosa County and see what's happening. This has been pretty much the layout for the last few weeks. If you notice anything under 300 in Santa Rosa County, it was under 200 in Escambia. Anything under 300, hyper sellers market. 300,000 and under, definitely a hyper sellers market. This 1 to 150, which is so popular, everybody wants to see it. There's only 28 active right now. Less than a month's worth of inventory. Less than 1 month. So if you got something between that 1 and 150, and I've seen some private realtor Facebook groups that I'm involved in with a bunch of real estate agents around the area, even asking, going, hey, does anybody have something coming? Because we got people looking and there's just no inventory there. So you got something that you're wanting to sell there, you can be pretty aggressive. 3 to 350, it does move into the orange just to change the color because they're not quite 3 months worth of inventory. You got a little bit more. If you notice, these reds are when your actives are less than your pendings. The 3 to 350 actually has less pendings than active. You got 83 properties there, but you can still be pretty aggressive. And then the 350 to 400, and we're back down to 2.3 months worth of inventory. There's hardly anything there. And then 4 to 500, you're around 5 months worth of inventory, which skews slightly towards the sellers. 500 to 550, 8 months worth of inventory, that skews towards the buyers. And then everything else becomes just a hyper buyer's market. But remember that number 650 to 700 I was telling you about? That was 18 months in Escambia County. It's 42 months here, which has come down some. It came down some, but that's what, 3.5 years? That's a long time. And then 700, actually, it's come down a little bit too. So 700 plus is 8.2. And I just wonder that maybe some of those inventory has fallen off. That's where that's at. So that's how the market is this week. We got to go to the doctor. Do me a favor. If you found any value in this, like it, comment it, share. I don't care if you're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Like it, comment it, share. Okay. If you found any value at all. Also, let me know. Send me, if you want to send me direct messages too, that's fine. Just let me know if there's anything else you would like to know about what's going on in our area. I think a lot of these numbers are going to switch here in probably 2-3 weeks, just because we're going to go past 4th of July. So a lot of this is going to change some. I think you'll start to see inventory. It's either going to go one of two ways. They're either going to go up quite a bit, or they're just going to come down. People are going to stop thinking about selling altogether for now. So if you are even considering making a move right now, give me a call. Let me know. I'll walk you through options. Obviously, it's no obligations, but I'll walk you through the options. Okay. Hopefully, this brought you some value. And like I said, I don't do any fluff. This is just straight data, so you can make better decisions for you and yours. Have a great week.
I'm a man on a mission.
My mission is to help people break through all the noise out there, and
Don't need no permission.
I want to help you get to actual truth. Don't you just want the truth?